most of my encounters with believers, they kind of have this idea that if I can get out of debt and then start putting money in savings, that somehow I'm doing really well financially. Well, certainly there's some benefit to doing those things. And nobody really likes debt, because most of us look at debt as something that we go into just to get like toys or things that we kind of want, but not necessarily from the biblical perspective. The Bible actually talks about debt, and it sometimes talks about debt in a positive way. When you take on debt as a way to eventually make money, in other words, start a business, you can actually be creating what is called smart debt. Think of it this way. What if I had a certain amount of debt? We'll say $10,000, try to make our math easy. And I was paying, say, 3% a year on that. Now, that's something that would pile up over time. And in fact, some of you guys have seen that. If you put money on a credit card and all of a sudden you're at 20 or 30%, what you've realized is you've actually bought the same thing 3 or 4 times, and yet you only have one of them. And that's so frustrating when you have these really high interest rates. So I understand if you have a really high interest rate, you definitely want to pay those things off or move them to a lower rate for sure. But what if I could find a way to make more money than what I'm paying each month? Let me explain it this way. What if you could make 25 or 30% returns on your investment? Would it be better to pay off that $10,000 debt or to put that $10,000 into a trading account? Well, if I have the skill sets in order to make 25, 30, 50, or 100% in a trading account, then it's actually a bad use of my money to go ahead and immediately put that $10,000 just to pay off that debt because I didn't want to pay 19 or 20% a month. So I would encourage you guys to kind of think through this process. Obviously, it's very important that you apply the knowledge and skill sets that you have, because you don't want to go into debt and then still have debt sitting over here. It's important that you take the information, the knowledge that you have, and that you begin to use that in a way that you can actually make more than you would have paid in interest, and then you can take some of your profits that you made over here and then apply that to pay down this debt over here. It's actually possible to do both. And that's something that most believers don't really understand. But thankfully here at Tradeway, we'll show you how to think through that process and maybe open your eyes to think through debt in a different way than you normally would.